What is happening, YouTube? Cowboy here, and welcome to part 2 of our 2-part guide for MechWarrior Online. Now, in this video, we're going to be looking at the Clan and Inner Sphere factions, and in particular, the main differences between them. And then after that, we're going to pick up a brand new mech from the store and go through the process step by step in what I do when it comes to building a mech. So, when we go to select a mech, we can see the two main factions here, Inner Sphere and Clan. And in the mythos of BattleTech, the Clan mechs in general, they have better technology. So because of that, they're a little bit more DPS oriented. You know, their weapons are a bit stronger. They have more weapon customization via their omnipods. But, you know, we can't modify our engine at all, and we can't really make particular upgrade tweaks. The Inner Sphere, on the other hand, they're a little bit beefier. They're more brawler-ish, if you will. We, of course, have more upgrade customization here. On top of that, we're able to pick a particular engine, whether we want to go with an XL or a standard, and change the speed up. But, of course, we have locked hardpoints. So each faction does have some benefits and some drawbacks, and it really does come down to what you're looking for when you're building a mech. So to go a little bit more in depth, we're just going to take a Direwolf here, which is a Clan mech. And if we hop in Mech Lab, we can see instead of the engine tab, we now have an Omnipod tab. Now, this is what I was talking about when I said Clan mechs have a little bit more flexibility. For example, right now we have a DWFA right arm. So, Direwolf A right. And we can see this comes with an energy cooldown bonus. If I have all 8 pieces of Direwolf A on, I get a small XP bonus of 2.5. And that particular quirk isn't all that important. The red one, the energy cooldown, is what you really want to pay attention to. So right now we're getting a 5% energy cooldown, and that's obviously going to impact all 3 of our large pulse lasers. But let's say we want a little bit more firepower, you know? Our large pulse lasers, we are getting 13, so 13 times 3, we're looking at 39 damage out of those. But let's say we want a little bit more ballistic. You know, these are good for range. We got a Gauss rifle over here, but we want to have something just in case people come closer. So looking at our, let me minimize some of these. Looking at our right arm here, you can see these little numbers right here, and these involve ballistic hardpoints, energy hardpoints, missile hardpoints, and then AMS hardpoints. The orange, I actually have no idea what it is. I haven't seen what the orange would be yet. I mean, you know, your guess is probably as good as mine for the orange. But looking at the Direwolf Prime, we can see we have 4 energy and 1 ballistic. On top of that, we can see it has an energy cooldown at 7.5, whereas the Direwolf A had an energy cooldown at only 5%. So we're going to swap over to that. And instead, we're actually going to change up our weapons a little bit. We now have 4 hard points, so we're going to go for some medium pulse lasers. Put 4 of those babies on. And we still have some slots left, so let's go for a Clan AC-10. So now, as before, we are at 39 damage. The Clan AC-10 is going to do about 10 damage. The pulse lasers are going to do 8 damage, and we have 4 of those puppies on. So that's going to be 32 right there, plus the 10 from here. So we're looking at 42 damage. 42 damage potential from that arm. And then on top of that, that 7.5% energy cooldown bonus, as you can see, is affecting every single one of these medium pulse lasers. So when it comes to customization, this is the real benefit you have going with Clan mechs. You know, we can switch up our omnipods for our torsos and our arms to exactly what we want. As I mentioned, though, your upgrades are locked. I can, of course, switch up to Artemis, but I can't go to Endosteel. I can't go to Ferrofibrosis. On top of that, my engine is locked in, so I am running with an XL engine, which, of course, means if one of these sides get popped, because I am in a Clan mech, I'm going to see a big performance decrease hit taken there. But, you know, we have that flexibility with our weapons. And on top of that, Clan weapons are a little bit better. You know, they're going to have more range, they're going to have more damage. At the same time, they're also going to produce more heat, and they're going to have a higher cooldown. In terms of main differences between the actual weapon types, with Clan lasers, we actually have a longer fire time, which means you have to stick to the target longer with that laser to get the maximum benefit out of it. And then on top of that, our autocannons for Clan are considered burst fire. Obviously, the LB-10 is a shotgun spread, but the AC-10, AC-5, these are going to be burst fire autocannons. So if we switch things and we go back over to an Inner Sphere, Some of the obvious differences that you'll see immediately as we go back into our loadout here. We can now switch our upgrades around. Obviously, we're a bit full right now on weight, so I can't modify that. If I drop some stuff out, you can see I have the ability to switch between ferrofibrosis or endo steel. I can switch my heat sinks between standard and double, of course. On top of that, though, you know, our hard points are locked. I'm going to have an energy hard point here. I'm going to have one here. I'm going to have 2 ballistic and 2 missile here, and that's not going to be able to change. But of course, I can freely change my engine around. So if I want to make my mech, you know, if I want to drop off some firepower and make this thing a lot faster, that's certainly something I can do. If I decide that I want to have ferrofibrosis and endo steel just to, you know, maximize my tonnage, and I'm willing to sacrifice some weapon slots, that's something I have the ability to do. Additionally, with your weapons on Inner Sphere, because your lasers have a shorter fire time, that's less damage that you're going to have to stick on the target with that laser to get maximum potential out of it. And on top of that, your autocannons are solid slugs. So whereas with the clan, you know, with the AC-10, it's going to be a 3-round burst, each doing 3.33 damage, and I need to connect with all 3 of those to get the damage out of it. With the AC-10 on an Inner Sphere mech, we're just shooting one big solid slug, and whatever that slug hits, we are getting 10 damage right up front. Aside from that, the only real difference between the Inner Sphere mechs and the clan mechs are your actuators. Now, actuators aren't anything major, but it is worth mentioning just because it, you know, was something that I saw that I was curious about. With our mechs, you can see we can add in hand actuators, or we can remove them. And hand actuators are going to be purely aesthetic. You know, it's going to make your mech have a little hand versus not have a little hand. But on that note, one thing that is worth mentioning is that because when we put on the arm actuator, or the hand actuator here, that's one more slot that's taken up. This is going to give us one more potential slot that could end up getting critically hit instead of one of our weapons. So, with all that being said, when it comes to clans, obviously, to wrap things up, your clan mechs, you have the flexibility in your omnipods. You're just going to have, you know, more choice in what you want to bring out weapon-wise. If you want to have more flexibility in your speed and your upgrades, and, you know, you like the shorter lasers and you like the solid slug, then instead of clan, you might be an Inner Sphere kind of guy. In general, personally, I go more Inner Sphere than clan just because I really like having the flexibility to, you know, modify my engine and modify those upgrades. And I'm fine with building a mech around the hard points it already has available. So, now that we've given you an overview of Clan versus Inner Sphere, we're going to go pick up a brand new mech and build it on out. So there is a sale over on the quick draws, so I was looking at them. And the champion one here, the IV4, actually has a very nice loadout with 2 ballistics, 2 energy, 2 missiles, and an AMS. Very nice kind of balanced build, so I figured that'd be a nice one to pick up while it's on sale. We'll just name him the IV4. We'll keep that name. Look at that beautiful sale price. And we're going to build this thing out from scratch. So, we now have the IV4. Let's hop back into our mech lab here. Select our mech. He was a heavy. He was an Inner Sphere. There's the quick draw. Alright. Alright, so now that we have the mech, the first thing I like to do is just kind of look at it and see what we're working with here. So I know my hard points. We're running 2 AC5s at the moment, SRM6s, an XL engine, medium pulse lasers. There's a couple things I can already tell I want to change. So I'm going to strip the mech out, strip all of our equipment off. Here we go. First thing is drop ferrofibrosis off, put in endo steel just because it's better. The AC5s I am going to stick with still. As for the chest, I'm going to go up to LRM5s instead of the short-range missile 6. LRM5s, we get, they only take 1 slot over the 2, and they weigh a little bit less, and in general, I'm not a big fan of the short-range missiles. You know, they don't really track, so I don't really like them is all. As for the lasers, looking at our tonnage, let's get our engine going first here. And I want to get our engine up a bit higher than it was. I also don't want to go XL because I don't want to be vulnerable in my torso. So we're going to go up to, there we go, 275. We have a heatsink slot. That'll be fine. Toss a double heatsink in there. Let's get our ammo. We're going to put a ton of AC5 ammo and then a ton of LRM ammo in each foot. People don't attack feet all that often, so I should be safe there. and we need to pull tonnage out just a little bit for our new weapons. Now, right now we can see we still have plenty of slots. We're going to real quick strip a little bit in the rear. Get that up a little bit higher. Get that up to like 50. 40 is good there. So we can actually go ferrofibrosis here. Take up those armor slots. Alright, now I do have slots available, so we're going to go into some medium lasers. I need 1 ton still for another medium laser, so we'll pull a little bit of armor out of the legs here. We can put this down to 10 pretty safely, since the majority of hits you're going to take are going to be from the front. Perfect at 12. That gives us another medium laser there, and we're looking pretty good. So let's talk about the differences now. Now, obviously, our heat management is going to be really close to what it was. I didn't check what it was before, but with the higher grade engine, before we were running a 240 XL. So heat management with that, I don't have the slots. Hang on, let me take off ferrofibrosis just to compare what we were at. We had that on, and then we had on 2 extra heat sinks. So right there, I'm looking at a heat management of 1.42. Not too shabby. Obviously, the weapon switched up, so it's not exact here. But instead of doing that, as I mentioned, we're going to go up to the 275 engine, which, as you can see, gave us about an extra 10 kilometers per hour. I do like that speed. Doing the ferrofibrosis, since I don't need the slots, I dropped out the jump jets, so those aren't going to be a giant concern there. And all in all, I feel this will work a little bit better for me. So, main differences we have gone. Obviously, we now have long-range missiles versus the short-range, which we can use those to track. And on top of that, that's going to be nice because we have something that has 1,000 range for those kind of extended fights where we can do a little bit of work. AC-5s, of course, also boast pretty good range, max range at 1240, optimal range at 620. And then we'll have the 2 medium lasers in case targets get in close on us. Now, in comparison, the medium pulse laser, of course, they have 6 damage, 4 heat, 3 cooldown. And the medium laser has 5 damage, 4 heat, 3 cooldown. So we are losing a little bit there in terms of damage, but to work with what we have available, because the pulse lasers weigh 2 additional tons, that is why we went for the medium. On top of that, of course, going up to the higher, you can see our heat is 1.44, very close to what it was before. Obviously, there would have been a little bit difference with the other weapons I was using, but we have a lot more speed with this loadout. So we'll hop over into modules as well. I'm going to go radar deprivation. Actually, I think I need radar deprivation. We'll go seismic sensor to stop any lightweights that want to sneak up on me. We'll also go medium laser range and AC5 cooldown. And we'll save that. Now, in your modules, obviously, that's going to be the most expensive aspect of building your mech. You know, modules help. They help a little bit. They're not 100% necessary, so do keep that in mind. Don't feel like you're strapped and you have to get modules. And I think we're pretty much ready to go here. You know, my tonnage is at 60 out of 60. Got a very nice engine on. I couldn't go to XL. If I dropped off ferrofibrosis, I might be able to switch things up to XL, but heat management at 1.44, that's plenty. The LRMs look good. Looking at our weapon groups, AC5s, medium lasers, LRMs, that all looks excellent. I'm super bright. I like how this thing looks. So, we got them built. Let's jump and do a quick match, check them on out, and you know, see what kind of damage we can do. Now, of course, when you first get started with building mechs, one of the things I would suggest, instead of jumping straight into a quick match, is jumping over into a testing ground with your mech. That way you can kind of get a feel for how the heat management is for your weapons, you know, whether you're constantly running on the red line, or if you can get away with a little bit less heat management, or whatever the case is. I play this enough now where I kind of, if I know what level my heat management is, I can kind of feel things out. So, of course, that's something that's just going to improve as you play the game. Alright, so after a rather lengthy queue time, which is surprising for a Sunday afternoon, we got a nice Frozen City match. playing some assault, and this should be a really good map to try this thing out. So, you know, running a even though we're running a heavy, we got really nice speed up at 74 there. We've got our AC5s. We can unlock our arms. We got a really nice range of motion on those. The lasers, you can see, barely touching our heat. I think we'll have very nice heat management here. On top of that, you may remember our ammo is in our feet, somewhere that people don't usually shoot at for heavies and assaults, so not too worried about those or ammo explosions. And I'm going to stick kind of in like the midline here. I do want to wait for one of these guys to get a lock, and I'll start firing off some LRM volleys, and then supplementing that with the AC5s and the medium lasers. Surprised we don't have any locks yet.
Target acquired. New target acquired.
I don't think those connected. Let's flank around here, group up with our team.
New target acquired. Target acquired.
Connect on Alpha. No, I'm getting no connections.
New target acquired.
Ah, I was barely clearing. Alright.
New target acquired. Enemy base is being captured. New target acquired.
Alright, so the arms are a little bit low on this mech.
New target acquired. Enemy base is being captured.
Who's this market?
Dude's too far back for me to hit him with the missiles.
New target acquired.
Drop and see now to the base from.
New target acquired.
These guys are doing a really good job of sticking in cover. Except that LRM boat is probably out in the open.
New target acquired. Base is being captured. Base is being captured. New target acquired. Base is being captured.
Swing around towards the base here. Get rid of all these lightweights that are running around.
Target acquired.
Got no time to mess with these lightweights. Not getting connections. We'll keep firing at him, see if we can hit. Actually, I think they just killed him. Yeah. Alright, so let's go back, take care of these ravens that are... Oh no, looks like he did sneak away.
Target destroyed. New target acquired. New target acquired. New target
gotta say, their lightweights are doing a really good job of staying nice and annoying right on underneath us.
New target acquired. All kinds of ammo depleted.
We're out of
New
AC-5
target
ammo.
acquired. Ammo at 25%.
So that's important though, because you know, based on this match, we can see that I'm gonna probably want to put some more AC-5 ammo in.
New target acquired.
Missile ammo I'm feeling good with. I think I've been getting plenty of good missile shots out.
Target destroyed.
Alright, that one's down.
Target acquired. New target acquired. New target acquired.
Hey, a little help here?
New target acquired. Ammo depleted.
Alright, so now we're down to just our lasers.
Target destroyed.
But we're still quite beefy. We got plenty of armor left. We're going to put our arms back on lock, since I can only shoot via torso now.
Firepower, we should be using on everybody.
That's what I'm saying.
New target acquired. New target acquired. Target destroyed.
I'm going to advance up a bit. They're down to only 4.
Somebody kill that damn cheetah.
Target acquired. Target destroyed. New target acquired.
Cheetah has no weapons. They got an LRM boat way out there. I think he also has the RPPCs. We'll go for this guy. Have to get a bit closer to him to really get good damage in on him.
Let's finish him off.
Center torso critical damage. Warning incoming missile. Target acquired.
Oh, torso is stripped. There we go.
Good game, all. Good game.
Good game.
So a nice 12-5 victory. 377 damage, a little bit of team damage, but all in all, not too bad of a match. So now we did our first match, but we're not done the mech building process, because this is where we make tweaks. So thinking about that last match, the most obvious thing I noticed was that I ran out of AC-5 ammo a lot earlier than I would have liked. Likely 1 more ton would be more than enough to offset that. So the question is, where do I lose a ton at? Now, based on where I'm at right now, the most obvious area would be in the engine. So if I drop my engine down just by 1, you can see I just gained 2 tons there. We're going to go a little bit lower than that. We'll go down to there. So I'm going to still want heat sinks. You can see my heat sink management is dropping a little bit. There's 3 tons, so we can go put that baby in. No, we can't, damn it, because of the slots. Alright, so instead, we'll drop that out, because I won't have, well actually I'll drop out ferrofibrosis. Oh boy. And then I can go double heat sink. Double heat sink. Actually, I'm only going to need 1. We'll stay at 1.44. I felt good there. And then in the ammo department, we'll grab 1 ton of AC-5 ammo, and we'll put that up in our head, just because if my head gets hit anyway, I'm probably dead. So our speed has gone down ever so slightly. Our heat management is right exactly where it was, but now I have an extra ton of ammo. And we also dropped off the ferrofibrosis, which sucks because, you know, we do have plenty of slots for it, but I think that extra ton of ammo is going to be a little bit more beneficial for me. And we're still up at 70 kilometers per hour. So At this point, I would consider this mech ready to go. Now, obviously, you know, you're going to want to keep playing with your mech, and your mech should constantly evolve. If, you know, I find out that I want more LRM ammo, that's something I can adjust, but just from one match, the main thing I noticed, of course, was that I ran out of AC5 a lot sooner than I would have liked. The LRM ammo, I think I had plenty. You know, we ran out towards the end of the match, but going through 2 tons of LRM ammo, I think, is plenty there. So, all in all, that is how I go about building a mech. Hopefully this kind of gave you guys an idea of how to approach things as well. And with that being said, we will catch you guys out on the battlefield.